Good morning. Thank you for joining me in this webinar where I will be covering OpenText IT Operations Aviator, basically GenAI embedded in our IT service management solution. My name is Casey Kunzmanis. I am a principal solution consultant within the OpenText pre-sales organization. I've pretty much been working in the IT service management space for almost 30 years now. Various acquisition, but finally where I am now with OpenText. And as you can see in my picture, my passion outside of service management is really paddling. I paddle anything that floats on water, from a one-man outrigger to a 20-man dragon boating. So obviously taking advantage of living out in San Diego and doing year-round water sports. So I compete locally, nationally, and representing USA for competing out there in the world of dragon boating. So if you ever are out in San Diego, here's my email. Feel free to reach out to me, casey@opentext.com. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I love this quote. AI won't replace humans, but humans with AI will replace humans without AI. I think it captures the reason why AI has essentially captured our attention, right? That's all we see right now in the media. We don't want to be left behind. What we know will essentially transform technology. And if you've done any sort of research at all with GenAI, you've discovered that it has to be tailored to fit your use cases. There's a lot of talk about AI basically going out there, giving maybe the term hallucination will give you information that might or might not be related to what you're looking for. And of course, with companies, the idea of privacy and protection of your data is very important. But that being said, for any businesses out there now, if you want to thrive in the future, you have to ride this AI wave. So we're seeing companies embedding AI into their overall business processes. Now, what I'll do today here is focus mainly on how AI works with one of the practices, service management. In today's agenda, I'll give you a quick introduction of generally AI and how that pertains to us within OpenText. I'll give you an overview of our OpenText Aviator. Aviator is essentially our term for AI. So if you hear OpenText AI or Aviator, it's pretty much the same thing. So giving you a brief high-level overview of what that is, and then jumped into how AI ties in with that service management practice that I mentioned. And then we'll wrap it up with a summary of what I've showed you. So it'll be a combination of not just presentation, but I'll also give you a quick demo of some main service management use cases. What is OpenText Aviator, basically? So what we hear, OpenText Aviator is essentially a family of GenAI capabilities throughout our cloud edition that leverages large language models, or LLM, and private data sets to solve certain use cases based upon the practice you're looking at. So let me drill down, give you an idea of what that means. So within OpenText, through different acquisition, we have different lines of businesses covering from content management, from security, IT operation, DevOps, etc. So depending on which work stream you're at, there's Aviator that goes along with this. So you can see here on the right-hand side, Aviator spans our entire different business units, again, from content management to user experience, to business network, IT operation, DevOps, and even cybersecurity. Here's some example of use cases on how Aviator is being leveraged within our solutions. So what we'll do today is you can see some of the, with security here, how security threats that's coming into your organization, different use cases. But the main focus of today that I'll be covering is within the IT operations Aviator. So how your employees, business users, and your agent can use AI to make them more proactive. So another quote, this one pertaining to service management, a quote from Forrester Research in the State of the Service Desk. where 62% of employees will avoid the service desk, and 58% live with ongoing IT issues that the service desk can't fix. Now, there could be various reasons why employees are avoiding the help desk. Maybe they just didn't have a good experience, or maybe they find that it's just a waste of time because the help desk can't help resolve their problem, or that the service desk, for whatever reason, lots of issues to work on, not a lot of service desk staff to able to reach out and help them resolve in a timely manner. So I'm sure we've been in a situation, either from work or at a personal level, where we call a help desk, anything from a travel issue or from a internal work-related issue where we might be put on hold, right? So after, I don't know about you, but after being on hold for a couple of minutes, I hang up. So then I go about and try to find my own solution. And again, right, the quote 58% live with ongoing IT issues. I just find a workaround, or I just don't bother and find other ways to do it. So think about your current service management solution now. How satisfied are your employees with your IT services, and are they as productive as possible? And how informed are your service desk agents, and can they keep up with the user demands? And of course, we're all concerned about the rising costs and possibly the lack of skill to the service desk. Are any of these three items on the top of your concern at all?
Hi, Casey. So my comment is mainly regarding items 2 and 3. For us, we are challenged with our agents handling the huge number of requests coming in. We need to find a better way to arm our current agents with solutions to help quickly gain control and assist our users with their issues.
Yeah, that's usually, especially if you're a service desk manager, right, Loretta? I mean, our solution can definitely help you with that. And as I go through the demo, you'll see how your service desk can leverage AI embedded in the solution to help them be more proactive by handling requests, helping them quickly resolving issues without potentially hiring more service desk agent, thus putting in that control over the rising costs of your help desk. Any other concern that you have? What about your employees? Are they pretty happy with the current solution that they have right now with dealing with the service desk?
Well, in actuality, for us, it's about addressing the concerns our employees have with the help desk. We're getting complaints of how long it takes to resolve their issues.
Yep, and that's, like I said, it's a common theme, right? And then there could be, again, lots of reasons why. It could be as simple as maybe your current tool now is just difficult to use. You can have the best solution in the world, but if it's difficult to use, then that would drive down the usage. Again, so we want to make sure we arm not just your agent with a solution that is easy to use and be more proactive, but also your end users. How can they quickly submit a ticket without having to pick up that phone and being on call for however long it is to get the help that they need? So good. Okay, so let me go ahead and kind of drill down a little bit more on your solution and show you how AI goes hand in hand with our search management solution, dealing with the three topics here that we just covered. So the search management solution that we have within OpenText, you'll hear it also known as SMAX, Service Management Automation X. So let's go ahead and dive in. Exactly what is OpenText Service Management? As I stated, AI going forward is going to be a key component with any sort of practices you have out there. Not from the user side, but also on the agent side. How can they leverage AI to do their current job now, to be more proactive with what we have? OpenText Service Management, I mentioned, has AI embedded in it. But unlike ChatGPT, right, we hear things of when ChatGPT was first introduced November of 2022, there are folks out there who are typing into ChatGPT information that should be private to their organization, but because they typed it in a general public database, that company information has now been exposed. So the data has now, instead of being private to the company, it's now exposed to the public. So with Aviator, we make sure that we leverage the large language model, a private one, so that you get AI, but making sure that you don't expose your data to the public. We also interact using the UI experience, the user interface experience, so that when I'm going out there as an employee and searching for what I need, that I can have that natural conversation instead of trying to figure out the coding concept to talk to a quote robot, right? So I can talk to Aviator just using a natural language. And if we can drive the employees to go out there and help themselves, there'll be less call to your service desk, lowering that cost for getting more agents to support you. Okay? So essentially, that's how AI will help with your service management practices, is making your agent more proactive, engaging your end users so they're more self-sufficient, overall driving down the tier 1 support cost. Okay, our solution is based on these 4 value pillars. I've already mentioned the privacy and security side, so leveraging the private LLM to do that. And the enterprise intelligence. So what this basically means is, unlike some public LLMs where it's aggregating all out there in the whole internet world, we want to make sure it's relevant to what you're looking for. So for example, if I go onto my HR website, if I'm looking for information on benefits, I need to make sure that it gives me information that's relevant to me, Casey, in the US, benefits that pertains to my location, my role within the company, not some generic benefits that's out there in the web, right? So providing that where we can leverage your enterprise data and giving you the information that's relevant to you as an end user. Also allowing your administrator to have control of who have access to what. So bringing back that concept of, if again, use an example of location, that I could only have data returned to me if it's applying to my location versus to employees in other countries, right? So giving the administrator, allowing access for them to put control on who has access to what data. And the 4th pillar here is essentially providing multi-channel for user access. What that means is nowadays we're all attached to our mobile devices called HIP, right? I can't do my job, I can't do non-job stuff, non-work activities without my device. But allowing your employees, your agents to log in wherever they're at, either from the mobile device, from their desktop, from their email, from their team chats. So giving them the multi-channel to access the solution to get the information they need. So that's pretty much the 4 main pillars where all of our aviators are based upon. Now, let's drill down into the actual use cases of how Aviator can help your employees or business users. There are 3 use cases I'm going to cover with a quick demo. The first one is an employee basically having issues with accessing email. And then we'll look at using AI technology for AI to figure out a frustrated end users, and how does AI know that, right? Without even talking to the business users at all. And then showcasing that for open text service management solution, we support also non-IT services like HR information. So we'll see an employee logging on and requesting information, excuse me, on information on family medical leave. So now let's go ahead and we will look at a quick demo of these 3 use cases. Let's go ahead and look at the first use case here of our employee going into Aviator. So this is the self-service portal, and then essentially saying, I'm unable to print, or I'm sorry, I'm unable to access email this morning, right? So this is just an end user going to say, I have a problem. Is there an outage? I can't get to my email. And you can see Aviator is automatically aggregating and telling them that, yeah, there is a webmail problem, but it might not be related to your problem. It's just affecting webmail, not Outlook client. So, and then you can see here, it's I talked about giving you information that's relevant, right? Automatically brings it on there. So that's one example. And then let's go ahead and we will look at the second use case where now an end users is frustrated because they're having a printer issues and it's not being resolved at the right time. So we'll also look at that here. Let me start that one up. Oops, wrong one. Let me. So here's an end user basically saying that we're going to report that I'm not able to print, right? A simple request. And then submitting that to the service desk. All done here from a web client or a mobile exit. So here's the ticket. I just submitted that. Switch over to the agent side, right? So here we're looking at a ticket on the agent perspective, and you notice the sentimental analysis is neutral, right? So as a help desk agent, I'll come work on this later, and then just work on something else. Now, what we'll do is let's go back to the end user, and the end user, let's just say a day goes by, nothing from the help desk. Well, as I go in there, I want to say, hey, it's been a while and I still can't print. So I can come in here and say, I am frustrated. It's so basically putting some words in here to let the agent know that I'm frustrated, it hasn't been fixed, so I'm angry, right? So have that sort of sentimental, that it's a negative sort of sentimental. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in as a comment. And if we go back to the agent view now, we'll see that it aggregates that comment. I'm gonna refresh this, and my sentiment analysis has now become negative, and I can escalate it to the help desk. So this is all done using AI to do this, right? So that's one way, and AI can help an agent to figure out that we need to work on this fast. Let's look at one more use case where for the employee, in this case, an employee has an error message. They took a screenshot of that error message. Very simple, an Outlook error message, right? So just a screenshot. So I simply just click and drag that error message over, right? So that's all I need to do as an employee to report my problem. Click and drag it over, and then I'm just gonna hit the submit button, and that's it, right? So now there's tickets being open. AI is aggregating and looking at that ticket for me and automatically assigning it as needed. Okay. So what we saw so far is an easy way for an employee to submit a problem, an agent figuring out that an employee is frustrated just by comments that's being provided. Now let's look at the one last use case pertaining to an employee where not can they only request using our service management solution to request IT related services, but also non-IT. So in this case, we are going to go into the areas of an HR. We're now switching back, and I'm going to use Aviator again. And I'm going to type in here what is the company policy on medical leave, right? And then again, Aviator is aggregating information pertaining to me, my location, on what that means. And it's automatically gonna give me an idea what this looks like. So again, it knows that I'm in the US and I get 12 weeks of unpaid medical leave. And it might be different for those in Canada, in Spain, and other areas, right? So then I can see what I need to do. I can go ahead and request a family medical leave, and that's all done automatically here. I can put in that I'm gonna need times up to be a caregiver for my mom while she is going through treatment. Okay. So then I'm gonna need 60 days and submit it. Boom, right? And that's it. And that's all I need to do as an employee to request for that medical leave. Okay. So just summary of what you just saw there for an end user. So we see that through Aviator, using a natural language, and end users can be more self-sufficient, so they can find out what they need quickly. And if they have an issue, instead of picking up the phone and trying to describe to the agent what's going on, they can just have that screenshot, right? And click and drag that screenshot over and submit a ticket. And remember, because our solution supports multi-channel, they can also do that from their cell phone. So taking a picture of an error message and just submitting that picture right away. We also saw AI in action, where it's able to analyze that the user is frustrated. And because of that, it's automatically telling even the agent didn't know that, right? So the AI is saying, oh, based upon the feedback, this user is frustrated. So let me go ahead and escalate it and assign it to the right team, put it in the right workflow. So that's all being done without an agent having to analyze what's going on, talking to the users, taking time. They can then move on and help the users resolve the problem instead of collecting data. Loretta, what do you think so far that you've seen here in the quick demos of the 3 use cases? Any comments?
Sure. I really like how easy it was to quickly open a ticket with the screenshot. And also the ability for our employees to be, self-sufficient and looking for the information they need, which will definitely decrease the number of calls we get into our help desk.
Yeah, exactly. That's that's what we're looking for, right? To really up that user satisfaction, making your agents more proactive, maybe minimizing the number of help desk agents, lowering, help desk manager being more happy now. They don't have to hire more people, right? So lots of things going on here for sure. So what you've seen there is all about the employees, making it easy for employees to get what they need, leveraging AI or Aviator within open text search management. Now let's flip that and look at how AI can help the agent be more efficient with assisting their end user resolving their problem. So now we'll look at some of the use cases for the agents and the process owners. There are 3 use cases that I'm going to quickly again cover and giving you a demo of what that looks like. The first use case is we'll see a level 1 staff assisting, again, we'll take that scenario where the end user was frustrated with the printing problem, right? So on the agent side, okay, they know that this person is frustrated. How can I quickly help resolve their problem? So we'll look at that from the agent perspective. And then using Aviator and what we call hot topic analytics, we can help the process owners. So either the problem, the knowledge, or the change process owner with helping them to improve future processes, right? Either by looking at reoccurring trends so that they can figure out what to do next. So we'll look at some of that example there for the process owners. All right, so let me show you now the first demo of how an agent can be proactive to help an end user with their issue. So let's go ahead and start off with, so what we saw when we had that user click and drag, this is the ticket that came in, right? This is the optical character recognition with that error message screen. So here's what's an agent seeing. Here's this nice screen, right? And you can see AI automatically detecting the down device. So without having them to do anything, AI saying, oh, I see the configuration item, the server. And by doing that, the agent didn't need to figure out what item is going down, what device is going down. So let me go ahead and change the title and save that. Once I save this record, that particular detection of CI is automatically associated to this ticket. And then I can see by clicking on show impact, what other services might be impacted if this device goes down. So really, not having to do much yet, right? An agent is able to leverage what AI was able to feed through it by CI detection and then the topology. So now let's go and look at the printer problem where we saw that the user was frustrated, right? So this is the ticket that was submitted where the end user said, I am frustrated, it hasn't been fixed yet. So as an agent, if I bring up Aviator, there are two things I can do. I can summarize the request. So Aviator can go ahead and summarize this request for me, and then tell me what the description is, and then what's the update, right? So it's even picking up that the user is frustrated. So again, all AI stuff. Okay, great. Well, I can copy this if I want. Let's go ahead and ask AI, can you suggest a solution? So Aviator will go and aggregate potential solutions, and it tells you what the symptom is, and then the possible causes, and then providing you with different suggestion solution, right? So all done by aggregating your knowledge article, and then printer problems that happened in the past and the different methods there, recognizing that this particular user is frustrated. So again, very, very proactive action here that AI is helping with the agent, helping resolving the problem quickly. So you can see from here, I can go ahead and figure out what articles were used to give me this suggested solution. I can copy and then paste this solution into the ticket, right? So that's a proactive agent using Aviator to help summarize the requests and even potentially suggest a solution for the end user. So let's look at one more demo of what we call hot topic analytics. So for a proactive problem and knowledge management. Okay. Let me go ahead and start this now. Now for the process owner, let's start off with a problem management process owner. I'm going to go to problem management, and then we'll use hot topic analytics to get this heat map to basically aggregate all incidents. As a problem engineer, I can see what sort of incidents are reoccurring, and quickly, right, I say, okay, these two incidents seems to be related, and quickly proactively create a problem off from these trending incidents. And you notice because I select two incidents, once I save this problem, I now can see the workflow of the problem record aligned with ITIL standard. And here are the two incidents that are associated to this problem. So again, automatically created. Let's look at knowledge management as a knowledge owner, again, using hot topic analytics to get trending, right? So these are all requests. We can see there's CRM requests that are coming in from the end users. And maybe I want to be proactive. And from here, I can either create a knowledge article or create a support offering or assign an expert to work on it, right? Again, being proactive with knowledge management. I can also create those same things by looking for searches for end users. What are users searching for that we should be proactive about to create knowledge articles or support offering? So learning the trends and being proactive in using that. Okay, so let's look at one more process owner. We'll go to change management for change analytics. So here is where a change process owner can quickly look at and maybe define a KPI for them for a successful rate change. Maybe that instead of 70% for a yellow range, I might want to change it to 65 to 85, right? And you can see here, you can change the KPI. It can also suggest what can you do to improve the success rate. And you can see for 50% successful changes, they have a build and test plan, and 94% has an execution task plan, right? So a lot of suggestions being made for a change person to be more successful with future changes based upon past changes. Okay, all done with AI and hot topic analytics here. Okay, so that being said, just to kind of summarize what you saw again from the agent and process owner, we saw that for an agent to be proactive, Aviator is able to help them quickly summarize, not only summarize the problem, but also aggregate the comments that the user has made, right? So in this case, I go back again with how does it know if a user is unhappy? So providing that sentiment analysis to help drive the workflow automatically. So that's huge, right? For an agent not have to figure out what's going on there. And then also we saw CI detection where with the screenshot of the Outlook error that it's able to pick up a configuration item that could potentially be the cause of the problem. And then some sample of how a process owner can optimize their KPI by looking at hot topic analytics to predict future changes and then to be more proactive on what to do by identifying recurring trends. So what do you think so far for as far as the agents? You've seen the business side, but as far as the agent look and feel, Rita?
I love the AI you have in your solution. It'll help my agents with summarizing and suggesting solutions of an incident. This will save us so much time for both new and senior agents to help resolve incidents for our end users.
Yeah, exactly, right. So you mentioned earlier that they would potentially you don't want to not or hire new help desk agents, but if you do, they're new. So for unskilled agents, having AI to help, you saw suggest a solution for them to be able to just click on that button and not have to have that knowledge or go bug your senior help desk agent. That's extremely valuable, right? To help, I don't even want to say train because they're actually not being trained. They're just being told to push a button and then using the solution that AI found for them, right? So just be able to leverage that, helping control your agent costs of either training the newbies or hiring more new agents. Good. Okay. So with that, here are some sample use cases and capabilities that open text service management currently supports. We're going to constantly look at expanding and adding additional use cases in the future. As for new releases that we have, we're going to keep adding use cases, and we're going to continue to embrace AI embedded in our solution so that we can enhance your overall service management practices. So we saw some sample, right? Smart image processing with OCR, optical character recognition, the smart CI detection. So there's a lot of use cases that we can definitely expand on. But this in itself it's a beginning where we're starting to discover what AI can do to help us in our daily life and, believe it or not, in our service management practices. Why IT operations Aviator? Why OpenText Aviator? What makes us different? Well, ours is the only generative AI solution that uses IDLE, which basically indexes your existing content to provide you with that private LLMs, right? To making it private instead of using the public like ChatGPT that will expose your data. So privacy and security is top of mind. And again, the intelligent access control to provide with AI, how powerful it is to provide you with information that is relevant to you based upon your role in the organization, your location, depending on where you're at. And we saw that it can help overburden agents to do more. So with one button to summarize the ticket, to suggest solutions, and your on-demand subject matter expert. So we saw how an end user can be more self-sufficient by really going on to the portal, self-service portal, and typing in the question they need. And yeah, so overall, I'm extremely excited where Aviator is going to take us, embedded in something that is, help desk, right? To how can that make it more exciting for the agent? Well, maybe exciting is a too much of a hype word, but to me, just to see where being in the field for almost 30 years, where it was before and where we are now, to me, it's exciting where that's going to take us. So if you like what you've seen, if you want more information, talk to us and reach out to your sales team. We can help you maybe dive deeper into how Aviator can help with your existing service management processes, or we can even help kick off start a free trial so you can go in there and play around with the solution itself and see if that is what you're looking for. So thank you for your time, and have a great day. And that's the end.